Hello, everyone. This is Kathleen from BeAgain Books, and I am here today on the Graphics Fairy channel. I'm pleased to share my latest journal with you all. This journal was created for the Graphics Fairy design team using digital images from the premium membership site. This week I wanted to do a boho style journal because I came across this beautiful paisley upholstery fabric in my stash and realized I had been saving it for something special. This is it. I thought it would make a wonderful cover for a journal. Also, this little vintage pin came winging its way into my studio, and I knew it would be the perfect fit for a boho journal. So I went on the site to look for images, and I was completely enchanted by the Art Nouveau and Deco Style bundle. This is the bundle that I have used primarily to create this journal, and at the end of the post I will have listed the other bundles and search terms that I used to find the perfect images for the journal. So let's open it up and see what I've done. This pin is vintage. It might even be antique. I just love it, and it's very nouveau looking. It might even be silver. I don't know. It's got some tarnish on here, but it has this really great hook on the back. So kind of primitive, but it just is perfect for this journal. I almost kept it to wear, but in the end, I decided to let it go with this journal. I've just used some sari silk ribbon as well to tie around and keep everything safely inside. All right, let's open it up. So this first page is just this beautiful antique lace pocket, and I've got some ephemera in. This is just a handmade tag and journal card, and then a vintage computer punch card. And for the front and the back, I've used some acrylic paint and done this sponging technique. But I think the focal point is a beautiful nouveau lady. Yeah, I've done some glossy accents here on this little bohemian butterfly and on her headdress and jewelry. And I've used this beautiful deco frame here to enclose her. I loved these ladies. Lace there. Here's a double book page pocket and a couple of pieces of ephemera. This is just a paint chip that I've sanded. I love using sandpaper to age different things, junk mail and so on, when I make my journals. This is some beautiful handmade Japanese papers that I found in an art supply store in Santa Fe, the Artisan, and a little collage here, and another one of the ladies, tuck spot here, and she has a one style consultation coupon. I'm not sure that she really needs help with style, but yeah, I've done some painty, smushing, wrinkling, inking all through the journal. It's one of my favorite things to do. Little fiber here, the book page. Here's a dragonfly. So the dragonfly, because of the pin, has become kind of a sub-theme for this journal. More inking, a ribbon ruffle there. There's the dragonfly image again. And here is that little butterfly again. Just some dimension. Some painty stuff going on there. Again, some splatter here and watercolor embossing. Just a little scrappy notebook. Music page. It's a cluster pocket and just another little journaling card. This is a beautiful image from the opera bundle. And I put some glossy accents here as well, and a silk ruffle. about page, vintage calendar, and some little dangles here on the strings. A vintage envelope and some stenciling there. This can be a little hidden journal spot if you want to push that all the way up. Garden, it's vintage postcard. I've used a couple of candy bags here and created some more ephemera. It's a triple pocket. I really loved the lines, the design here. It's very nouveau in my way of thinking, and that beautiful little teacup. It also has some glossy accents, and this really reflects, I think, the nouveau style with vines and this pretty olive green color. Here's another little pocket with this music and some more stenciling on these pages. Another pocket and very nouveau texture here with that embossing, and I've sanded it again. This is one of my favorite journal elements, a page flip over, and I have used just the washi tape printable from one of the bundles, and there's a gold doily and this little nouveau border here. On this side, it becomes a diagonal belly band here. And social problems, the words of revolution. And it was kind of a wild time at the turn of the last century. Another stencil there, more smushing. And this is also a belly band, a cluster belly band. I really like doing those as well. This is the center of the two signatures, and I have this beautiful floating envelope. It's from the handcraft tutorials on the premium membership site, and this tutorial was done by Terry Colty recently, and it's called an ephemera envelope. I just have mine tied with some thread. I've done a collage here on the front, and inside it's just really very effective and holds a couple of pieces of ephemera from the Peacock Hues bundle, and I really like that. So that just kind of floats here in the middle. And here is my second Nouveau lady. She has a glossy lamp there. There's another of the Bohemian butterflies and this magnificent dragonfly here. Also glossy accents. Silk ruffle. It's a beautiful garden vintage book page, and I've done some embossing and more sanding. And on this side, I have again used washi tape printable and a recycled greeting card of some kind, note card. And I have used this large, oversized image of snowdrops from the Nouveau Flowers bundle and created just this big image on a journal paper and just fold that around. And I just really loved how the colors in this image just matched so well with this little ledger, vintage ledger sheet, and accents, I think, this layered grouping of what I call shorts. I always like to include these layered shorts in my journals. Washi tape printable again, just with a little journal card. This is also a tuck. more inking and spraying. And here's another one of my favorite elements, a bound-in tag. And this one has this beautiful little brass fairy. I thought she was very nouveau. And I love this paper. It's been in my stash for a long time. Feels wonderful. Another dragonfly, 2 dragonflies, a little lace pocket. I love this image from the Lotus and Water Lilies bundle. It's beautifully nouveau. And I made a little scrappy notepad here with just scraps of paper and held on with this lovely brad. And it just fits over this pocket, which I've used acrylic paint again and sponged and smushed. If you use a gel pen, you can write on acrylic paint, so no problems there. And this is the center of the signature. I have an invoice and a vintage check, and I have reinforced this so that it won't tear out. This is the fragile end paper for a book, a vintage book, and I again have sanded and distressed it. Folded this down. Here's another dragonfly. It's also glossy. Isn't that just the prettiest print? I love that. And here was a beautiful frame in the Nouveau and Deco Style bundle, and I had made that into a window pocket here, done some stenciling underneath. There's the dragonfly. It's just a little card. It was in my drawer, and the colors were perfect. Another stencil of pretty nouveau flower, and this is another real feather. It's iridescent, green and blue and brown, just the right colors for this beautiful artisan paper. The gold smishing, a little bit of ribbon detail. This is a vintage page from a calendar. This is another of my favorite elements, is to wrap a pocket around both sides of the page. And I again used the washi tape and have wrapped that around the page. And on this side, I have these pretty blue butterflies that accent it. One of my favorite things is these little textural collage. Some scrunched tissue paper and a little label and that beautiful butterfly. And here is the other side of that beautiful embossed vintage paper. And a flip out with just another journal card that I have sanded and made soft and worn out. And that just flips. And the final page, I have this pretty boho trim and a little bit of Easy Money from Milton Bradley Company. I don't know what game that went to, but the colors were perfect. And the final page is just another Nouveau florals and framed in this typical deco frame. On the back of the inside cover, I have used again this painty sponging technique with acrylic paint, and I love how that turned out. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and I appreciate the Graphics Fairy for hosting me. This journal will be listed in my Etsy shop if you're interested, and I will look forward to seeing you again.